In this video, I'm going to discuss movies in my collection I rewatch every year. Hey, it's me AP, and welcome back to another video. So, movies in my collection I rewatch every single year. I think everyone has those movies, you watch the same movie year in, year out, and it's because you really enjoy that movie, that you get something from that movie. And this is where this topic has come from today. I've certainly got a lot of different movies that I rewatch every single year, and I'm doing this one video today, but I'm sure I could do a part 1, a part 2, and a part 3, because there is certain movies I will just continuously watch over and over again, and it is just down to the fact I enjoy those movies. And the list of movies, I've got 6 movies I want to discuss in this video, and they are 6 movies that I've always watched from the first time I've watched them. I've watched them year in, year out, every single year, and that's just not me just saying that. That is me 100% for sure. I've watched these year in, year out, and I will explain why I enjoy these movies so much. So let's deep dive in to the topic. So the first movie I want to discuss is The Dark Knight, the Batman movie, the Christopher Nolan Batman trilogy. It's the second in the trilogy, and the first time I watched this at the cinemas, I just straight away, it had me hooked into this movie. It's a superb film. For me, it is the film of the Joker. It's the Joker, Heath Ledger's movie, really, rather than Batman's movie. I feel like Batman Begins is more of the Batman movie in this trilogy, really. But this one is more of a Joker, it's more about the Joker, this movie, telling the story of this absolutely insane villain. And Heath Ledger's portrayal was just phenomenal. We all know how good that performance is. You've heard it a million times before. But yeah, it's just a movie I go back to over and over again. I think the straight away it hooks me in is that the opening set piece to this movie, the heist, it's so cool. It's just so cool for a Batman film, and it just felt very, very different. I mean, Batman Begins was a great movie, but this just was on a different level. The Dark Knight, superb film, and it's just one I rewatch every single year since it came out. I've rewatched this film because it's such an enjoyable movie for me personally. I just love it. I don't have to watch the whole 3 movies. I don't have to watch Batman Begins or The Dark Knight Rises. I can just watch this movie, be pleased with myself, and I'll have got a lot from it as a movie fan. Next on my list is Men in Black, Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones, and I've spoken about this movie on the channel countless times now, but it is just a movie I've always watched since watching it from childhood. I don't think this is one I would have watched in cinemas as a kid. I think it would have been the first time I would have watched this is on VHS, on video. But ever since the first time I've watched this movie, I've watched it over and over again. It's got this case cover here that is just like a mirror. It's just like glowing. I'll put the case down because it's quite bright. But the film is just superb. For me, it is my generation, a kid who's been brought up in the 90s. I think if you were brought up in the 80s, your film of that era, similar to Men in Black, would have been like a Ghostbusters. And for me, Men in Black was the Ghostbusters of my era, my childhood growing up. And as much as I enjoy Ghostbusters, Men in Black is the movie for me. It's the franchise I really enjoy. I wish, if they put out a Men in Black movie every single year, I would sign up for it. I'd be at the cinema. I'd be up for watching that. As long as it had Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones in, though, because they are the iconic duo for me. Them two are the perfect pairing in the Men in Black franchise. But yeah, it's just a solid comedy film, comedy sci-fi movie. I love sci-fi, I like comedy. It gels everything I like in a movie, and it's just, every time I watch it, it's just, I know all the jokes, I know what's going to happen in each scene, but it just makes me laugh every time. I get a lot of enjoyment from it. It's just a fun movie to watch, a very entertaining movie, and that's why I watch it every single year. The next movie I want to discuss is Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. And this is one, I don't even know how many Harry Potter movies there are. It was like 6 or 7 Harry Potter movies. I lose track. I've got the collection behind me. I can't be bothered looking at this point. But Harry Potter and the Philosophers, I'm getting tongue-tied here. The Philosopher's Stone. I think it's called the Sorcerer's Stone, isn't it, in some places? Maybe in America it's called the Sorcerer's Stone. This is a great fantasy movie. I love the Harry Potter movies. I think they really are different though when you look at like the first couple of movies to the last two or three. They get a lot darker. I think they're all good movies. I really do think they're all good movies. Why do I watch this one particularly every year? I think the main reason why I only watch this one every year, right? I can't say I watch every single Harry Potter movie every single year. I'd be lying if I say that. This is one I watch every year because I feel like you can watch this one, you don't have to watch all the other ones. So, some of them I feel like, it's more a part of the whole overarching stuff, like the whole story, the arc of the story. This one, I feel like you can just watch this and it's a singular sort of movie in a way. This first one, and I like watching it around Christmas time. I tend to watch the Harry Potter movies if at any time of the year. I do enjoy watching around Christmas time. I just think this first step into this wizarding world, it is just superb. I've read the book as well. I've read like the audiobook years later, and I think the film just does a spectacular job of the movie adapting it. And just you think like there's only certain movies that have really, when people talk about like Lord of the Rings and like Harry Potter movies and Star Wars, I think there's a reason why people enjoy them so much. I think it's because you can connect to that world and you feel like it's so cool to step into that world. Not necessarily that you relate to it in a way that you know that world. It's a world that you would know, because obviously you don't know witches and wizards, sure. But I think it's just a world that you want to be a part of, and it's just a superb creative world. The stories in it, the characters, the locations, Hogwarts. I just really enjoy it. I get a big buzz out of watching this movie. I just sink into it. I just sit in my chair, watch this film, and get a lot of joy from watching this movie. So Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone is certainly one I watch in year out and get it gets big smiles from me every single time. The next movie I'm going to discuss is The Lion King, and this is the Disney animated original Lion King. Not that remake, that horrible remake a couple of years back. The animated version of Lion King, though, what a superb film. I watched this all the time as a kid. I love this, my favourite Disney movie of all time, for sure. Yeah, it's got to be my favourite. I love it. I love the story. It's a very simple story, isn't it, Lion King? Simba, his father gets killed, he gets sent away from Pride Rock by his evil uncle, and then he comes back to reclaim his throne. Simple story, really. But you see the circle of life, the growth of this lion, and what hooks me in with Lion King is, the fun characters and the fun music. That's what hooks me in. The superb animation, it's dead bright and just absolutely gorgeous to look at on screen. The characters, as I said, are super fun. There's a ton of super Timon and Pumbaa. I love Mufasa. Is a great, strong character. Simba, Scar. I mean, even the villain Scar. You love this villain. He's a great villain. It's just a wonderful movie to watch. I watch it every year. It's just one I can just go to, Lion King, and it is just a chill out for me watching that movie, because I know what's going to happen again. I know the story, like with all these movies. I know all the stories, but it's just fun. It's uplifting. It's an uplifting movie, this one, isn't it? You watch it, you got the songs playing, and even though there is dark points in the story where, like, within the story, if you look at certain points, but then the uplifting moments are just superb, and I really, really enjoy The Lion King. And honestly, every year I watch this, and it is just an absolute pleasure to watch this film every single year, and that's why it's on my list of films I watch every year. If I'm talking about films I watch every single year in my movie collection, I have to talk about this one, and that is Star Wars: A New Hope. The first Star Wars movie for me, the Star Wars trilogy I grew up with, the original trilogy. I say grew up with, I wasn't born when the movies were released, but I mean, even before the prequels came out, these were the ones I was watching on VHS, and these are the ones, the original trilogy that I have a very fond memories for. I like some of the prequels. I think some of them there's some good parts, but for me, it's the OG trilogy. For a lot of Star Wars fans, they feel the same way, I think. Maybe I'm speaking for only a few. Maybe some of you really do adore the new ones and the prequels. If you do, thumbs up to you. That's cool. You're all welcome here. But for me, it's the OG trilogy. I watched this one. I would say I watched this one more so than like Empire, more than Return of the Jedi as well. A New Hope is my favourite out of the OG trilogy. I know a lot of people prefer Empire Strikes Back, and a lot of people adore that film. I think, look, Empire Strikes Back is a fantastic film. I'm not knocking it one bit. For me, though, there's always something about A New Hope that I really enjoy. I think just that introduction into the world of Star Wars, I really like. And as much as I'm a big fan of Empire Strikes Back, but for me, A New Hope always wins through. It's the one I will always go to once a year, and for me, I don't have to watch all of them. To be honest, I do tend to watch like the Empire and Return of the Jedi. Probably more Empire I'd watch after that, and then see where I'm up to with Return of the Jedi. But I'll always just watch this, and even if I know it's a single session of just watching the one movie, A New Hope, I'm happy to do that. I just love it. Obi-Wan Kenobi is my, I think for me, he's my favourite character out of this. He is just, seeing him and Vader go to battle is just great, and then seeing, what happens to Obi-Wan, and he becomes a Force ghost then, and then we're seeing Luke, just the very beginnings of Luke, Han, and Leia in this story. And it's just, I love that the beginnings of this great story of Star Wars, and to think they all started with this one movie. This is just, it mesmerizes me. And I love sci-fi movies. I love fantasy, adventure, and Star Wars and New Hope has it all for me. This is one every year that is on my list of movies I watch. So the last movie I want to discuss in my collection is Dumb and Dumber. This is one I watch every single year because it is the best comedy of all time, in my opinion. Name a better comedy than Dumb and Dumber. It's just got every bit of this movie is just laugh out loud moments. I've said it in videos before. There's just countless moments. Everyone's said it before. This movie has just got laugh after laugh after laugh. You can pick out a scene, and everyone's probably got the favourite scenes in this. There's too many great scenes to think of. I think the toilet scene is just a standout for sure. I love the diner scene when they're in the diner. I think that's a great scene. When he's getting his tongue stuck on the ski thing, that's another great scene. There's so many funny scenes in this Dumb and Dumber movie. Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels, they are just, it kind of seems like an odd pairing when you look at them, and you look at the paths of careers they've had after Dumb and Dumber. They seem very different actors, and like Jeff Daniels seems like more like a very like a sort of like a what would be the word, like a very like a theatre type actor. He looks very serious in his acting roles, and some of his acting roles he's done since, whereas Jim Carrey's kind of stayed in that mold of like that comedy role. Sure, he has done some serious movies, but I think in general he is very much stayed within that zone. But put them two in the Dumb and Dumber movie, and it's just a great combination. I've watched the sequel. I wasn't super keen on the sequel. That would be definitely one I've not watched every year. I think I've only seen the sequel once, and it wasn't for me. But the original is just unbeatable comedy movie. I watch it every year because it makes me laugh. I like to watch movies that give me some type of a reaction and an emotion. This gives me an emotion of happiness, joy, makes me laugh, makes me smile, and I have a great time watching Dumb and Dumber. If you enjoyed this video today, please do give it a like and check out the rest of my movie-related content as well, and let me know what movies in your collection do you watch every single year. Let me know your choices, ladies and gents, and let me know your thoughts on my picks today. Are any of these choices in your picks every year that you watch every single year and year out? And let me know all your thoughts on this topic. thank you very much for watching, and as always, I will see you next time.